For the next 2 hours, we watch a movie on TV, not really paying attention, mostly catching up with each other on how we'd been. It's good to be back, and it feels like we're all just picking up where we left off 3 years ago. It's really nice. Finally, at about 10, Leo, Carl, and Flynn head out. I spend the next 20 minutes tinkering with the equipment, making sure it's all in order for shooting the next day. Once TJ finishes getting ready for bed, in the bathroom, I do as well before getting into bed, head to toe with TJ. Why would you sleep like that? There's a soft glow from the corner as Jenna sits at the table reading something. Sleeping head to toe is just, I don't know, I feel like it's just more weird if you sleep like that. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, waiting for her to go to sleep. There's a chain attached to my ankle as I walk away from the lake, my legs and feet caked in mud. I look back, seeing the chain snaking back around the rocks and reeds before disappearing into the water. Looking ahead again, I see Leo. He's smiling, waving at me. I walk towards him and the chain stays slack, pulling easily out of the water. There's an anchor in the lake, I say. I stare at him, but he doesn't say anything and just keeps on smiling. I crouch on the rocks, wrapping the chain around my wrist a few times. Leonie is next to me, rubbing my back and sticking out his arm to compare our bracelets, saying that everyone gets one. He seems happy, but now I'm stuck here. I can't even stand up to walk. That's symbolism, I guess, with the bracelets. Leo still has our bracelet. That's kind of weird if we broke up. Peyton is about a bit of a distance away. To get there, you have to get on Route 93, which Flynn tells me isn't even called that anymore. That would make sense considering how it was impossible to find on the GPS. Anyway, to get to the city you have to merge from the remnants of 93 onto 140, which runs straight through the city of Peyton. About 15 minutes from Peyton, we pull over at a rest stop, which sits at a higher elevation than Echo. If you're looking in the right direction, it gives you a great view of the town. I stand outside the old, run-down restroom, a paw over my eyes as I stare out over the desert. A distant, hazy view of a group of small buildings huddled together signals where the town is. From this vicarious distance, it looks small and harmless, hard to imagine all of the things that happened there. Alright, how do I use this thing? I look over and see Leo fumbling with the camera, obviously worried that he was going to break it. I walk over and show him how to use it, checking the white balance and exposure myself. I wasn't too good with cameras, but the equipment manager at the university had given me a quick lesson on how to do things. Alright, so I want you to zoom out from Echo, slowly, and while you do that, I'm going to walk in the frame, okay? Yeah, okay. Leo hoists the camera up and looks through the viewfinder, ears perked up and smiling. Alright, signal me when you're ready. I adjust the clip-on mic while Leo focuses on camera, then raises his paw, signaling that I should start. I walk into the frame, keeping one paw in my pocket and using the other to gesture. I hope I don't look too awkward. I always feel like I do. Echo first began as a settlement in 1852, after James Hendrick discovered gold in a quartz deposit. The town grew quickly in size, and once it began to serve as a junction along Prescott Railway, it reached a peak population of 6,500 in 1877. It was at this point in time that the peculiar phenomenon of mass hysteria took over. Many say the reason this occurred was due to the discovery of a body within the gold mine and the circumstances surrounding that discovery. While not much is known about this event, what is known is that once it ended, a large portion of the population left Echo. Most of those who left settled in the nearby town of Peyton. However, the town still managed to prosper well enough until the 40s. That's when the government stepped in to shut down the mine, as it became a federal law to divert all mining resources to the war effort. The town's population sharply declined shortly thereafter, and by the 1950s, it had dwindled to approximately 2,000 people. A shutdown of the Prescott Railway in the 1960s, followed by the bypassing of Route 93 by 140 in 1986, was the final nail in the coffin for the town. By the 90s, the population had dwindled to just about 150 people. My goal, however, is to investigate the first event which led to this town's decline and possible demise. What happened in that mine almost 150 years ago? I've come to Echo to try and find out what information, if any, can be gleaned from the events of the past. I wait for a few seconds, then look at Leo. That good? Yeah. Don't know how to stop this though. Here. I walk over to take the heavy camera off Leo's paws. That was pretty good. You wanna be a reporter? Maybe. I'd rather just write than be on camera though. Yo, Chase. Leo and I look up towards the car, greeted by the sight of a bright white ram's ass hanging out the back window of Leo's van. I don't really react. I mean, despite being self-conscious about his weight, Carlo was pretty shameless about stuff like this. I'd probably seen his naked butt more often than I'd seen Leo's, and that was saying something. Make sure you get a shot of my hey. At that moment, Flynn, who is sitting next to Carl in the back, reaches around and yanks the ram's pants down so that they hang around his knees. Even though Carl's pretty quick to pull them back up, I still get a pretty good view of his equally big white balls dangling between his legs. Leo snorts, and I can see Flynn laughing his ass off, while Carl punches him in the shoulder. Unfortunately for TJ, who is sitting in the middle row with Jenna, he was looking back at the time, and probably got a much better view than I did. Now he's facing forward, covering his face while Jenna sits next to him, reading a book, looking uninterested. Nearly 21 and he's still doing that, huh? Yeah, it's a little more awkward without you free around though. We head back to the car, and I grab the camera bag from the passenger seat to put the camera away. Hey, did you see my ass? I saw more than that. You hear things about the horrors of Echo, right? It'll be a perfect fit. Well, if you could even fit it on the camera. I stashed the camera back in the footwell before hopping in. Southwest Adventures is an amusement park right in the middle of Peyton. It's decent enough that people come not just from Peyton, but cities up to 100 miles away to vacation here. Because of this, it's usually crowded, and today is no exception. Families and their kids are everywhere. It's a generally nice day, sunny, in the 80s, and it being on a Sunday added to the crowd. I didn't mind though. The point of this is to hang out with my friends. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starving. Let's get some funnel cakes. Jesus, Carl, we just got here. Hey, I didn't have any breakfast. You had breakfast, alright? A blonde with a side of the munchies. It's no problem. You can do that while I plan out what we're doing. Carl ambles off, on his way to the funnel cake stand. I snag one of the park maps from the entrance and I hand that to Leo. Alright, so usually when my family comes here, we go clockwise to hit all the rides. That sounds like a plan. It's pretty crowded today, so we probably won't be able to do everything, but in this zone we'll at least be able to ride Event Horizon. You sure? The line is always so long for that ride. TJ's looking up towards the tall, spiraling, electric red steel roller coaster. It's definitely the most recognizable landmark in the park. You could see it from almost anywhere in Peyton. Yep, fastest and tallest roller coaster in the West. I think it'll be worth it. Oh. TJ rubs his arm with one paw, the corner of his muzzle twitching a little bit. I had forgotten about that. He used to have a pretty pronounced motor tic when the corner of his mouth would twitch up over and over again. It used to be a constant thing, but it stopped once we entered middle school. Guess it hadn't completely gone away. You alright, TJ? We could skip the big rides if you... Oh hell, TJ, you're a fucking adult now. No, it's fine, I'm fine. I just haven't been on a roller coaster in a while. TJ snaps his head back towards us. He's all tense up and the movement looks like a rubber band being snapped. I'm riding all the rides with you guys. TJ walks off, his paws shoved deep in his pockets. I feel bad for him, and I want to give him an out somehow, but that's when Carl comes back with his funnel cake. It's topped with ice cream, powdered sugar, and strawberries. Anyone want to share? Yeah, that looks really good. No? Alright, guess I'll have to eat the whole thing. Great, now we gotta wait for the fat ass to finish eating. Carl pulls his face out of the cake. Even with his white fur, I can see the powdered sugar clinging to his chin. Nah, I can eat in a line. We going on Event Horizon first? The wait will be an hour long, at least. The line ends up being 2 hours long, and by the time we get to the actual ride, I'm dying to get into a pool of any kind. To put it bluntly, an otter needs water. Part of the problem of living in 𝐏𝐿 meant that we didn't have any kind of indoor pool system in our house, being as cheap as it was. We ended up having to get an outdoor swimming pool, which was a pain. Nervous, Chase? I smirk at him. I've ridden it before, Leo. Though, your tail's kinda down. Sure you're not nervous? Eh? Come on, Leo, let's ride the front. Oh, I don't know. I watch as Jenna pulls Leo towards the line for the front, which is twice as long as all the others. I opt for the middle, and it just so happens that TJ comes with me. His tough ears had been poking straight up the entire time, muzzle giving an occasional twitch. I lean over to him. You know, there's an exit over there for people who, change their mind. I'll bet you could slip out without anyone knowing. Looks like not all of us are even gonna be riding the same train. TJ stares straight ahead, clutching onto the railing. I can see his sharp claws unsheathed, pressing into the metal and chipping away some of the red paint. No, I'm fine. You sure? Yeah, perfectly fine. Well, we're in the middle, which is the best place to be, if you don't like roller coasters. Uh-huh, yeah. I really wanted to be able to get to get TJ to skip the ride, but it seems like he's pretty determined to do it for some reason. Finally, our train comes along and I step in as two, laughing and laughing and panting hyenas step out. Oh my god, that was the most intense. Holy shit, dude, I know. I never get scared on rides and I almost fucking pissed myself. I do a quick check of the seat to make sure there isn't actual piss before sitting down. I look up and see TJ standing on the edge of the platform, his eyes wide, one foot stuck out to get on. TJ? A bored-looking teenage fox comes by to check my lap bar and I stick out my paw. Hey, wait. TJ, you getting on? The fox goes from looking bored to mildly annoyed. If you're getting on, you need to get on now. We can hold up the entire ride for you, sir. The exit's that way where other adventures await. People around us are starting to notice. Unfortunately, Flynn, who is lined up with Carl towards the back, is paying very close attention, grinning like he knew this was going to happen. Oh, TJ, too scared? Guess you're a pussy after all. Shut up, Flynn. Hey, TJ, when it gets real bad, just say to yourself, at least I'm not gonna die. Actually, a few people have. TJ! I yell up at him, and that seems to jar TJ out of his trance. He almost falls into the car as he stumbles into it, fumbling with his shoulder restraints before the fox attendant sighs and leans down to do it for him. I can see the red on the insides of TJ's ears as he blushes, and I feel my own ears burn a little from the second-hand embarrassment. Now that it's too late, I realize that we shouldn't have started with this ride. We should have started with something smaller to build up his confidence. You go on the most fucking, the hardest ride to stomach, like that. At first. That is rough, TJ. I am so sorry. I'm jolted back as the train moves forward. Oh gosh. TJ's paw lashes out and latches onto my arm. Oh no, oh no. Why am I doing this? I reach over to try and move his paw from my arm and back onto the hand on his shoulder restraints. TJ, hold on to that. My arm, you're gonna... Chase, quiet. I pause, staring at the lynx. I'm really not used to hearing TJ yell. He's almost puffed out to twice his size. I just need some quiet right now, and Our train begins its ascent up the first hill, and I can feel TJ's claws breaking through my fur into the skin. He starts mumbling quietly to himself, his eyes closed. TJ, are you praying? He doesn't say anything, and soon we've reached the apex of the climb. I give up on trying to move his paw and sit back, a little nervous myself. I really hope TJ doesn't completely lose it. I rinsed the blood off my arm in the dirty theme park bathroom. It wasn't as bad as I thought it could have been, though TJ did start crying when we hit the first inversion. He had scratched the shit out of my forearm, grabbing it with both paws once we started the descent. Unfortunately, Flynn and Carl were still on the platform when we rolled back into the boarding station. Flynn looked ready to lay into TJ again, but when he saw the tears, he had the decency to hold back. I helped the shaken lynx out of the car, and somehow we managed to stumble into the bathroom, where he quickly hid in a stall. I should have forced him out the exit. He'd always had anxiety problems, though I think we all believe it was a childhood thing that he'd gotten over. I don't know if he still takes medication. Hey, DJ? Yeah? We should probably get back. Leo texted me that they are all waiting by the ride. Yeah, I'll be out in a second. The cheerfulness in his voice is forced. I ignore the weird looks I'm getting from the other people in the bathroom and instead inspect my arm. The scratches are pretty superficial, so the bleeding has stopped. No one would notice it under the thick fur, even if it's tender as hell. I hear the stall door open behind me, and through the mirror, I see TJ come out. He sees me looking over my arm, and his face cramples up again. Jeez, I'm sorry. Is it bad? I really don't want him to start crying again. TJ cried a lot when he was a kid, almost every day, and even at 19, it seems like he's still pretty susceptible. It's fine, doesn't even hurt. Ah, well, that's good. We stand there awkwardly for a few seconds, then I air out my shirt, which was starting to stick to my sweaty body. Listen, it's honestly getting way too hot for me to wait in lines all day. I think I'd rather just sit down and watch some shows or something. Oh yeah? Yeah, you wanna do that with me? DJ's ears come up a little, and he clutches his paws together, the fidgeting subsiding a bit. Yeah, Chase, I think that'll be fun. I can tell he's at least a little relieved. We both head out back towards the ride, and I spot the four of them waiting by the exit. I furrow my brow as I spot Carl crouch on the ground, Jenna kneeling next to him and rubbing his back. Hey, everything alright? Jenna looks up, a sympathetic smile on her face. Carl's not feeling too good. You wanna sit on a bench or something? If I move, I'm gonna... That's what you get for stuffing your face right before the ride. You think they sell ginger pills here, or ginger ale at least? A joint would be nice. There are some vendors over there. I'll go check. I'm actually kinda glad everyone's preoccupied with Carl right now. Take some of the heat off TJ. Let's move you to the bench. It'll be better if you're sitting down. Slowly, Jenna and Leo lift Carl up, and now I can see from his face that he really is ill. To the average person, our little outing might already seem like a disaster, but this is perfectly typical for us. Nothing ever went according to plan. We sit Carl down at the bench, and he bends over, his face in his hands as he moans softly. TJ comes back with a medium-sized cup in his paws. He sits next to Carl. No ginger ale, but they did have some lime soda. Carl takes it and sips a bit of it before sitting back and belching. Fuck it. I'm done, guys. What? What are you gonna do all day? Sit here? Actually, me and Chase are going to go see some shows. You can come with us. Guys, we were doing this to hang out with each other, remember? I'll leave him. We're wasting time. Flynn turns and walks off, his hand shoved in his pockets, hunched like a stone gargoyle. He definitely looked the part, being a lizard. Damn, I was probably a bit speciesist. Well, we all have our phones. Text us, alright? Sure. Jenna turns and follows Flynn, but Leo hesitates a moment. He looks at me before eventually turning to follow Flynn and Jenna. 5 minutes later, Carlos' stomach settles to the point where he's able to get up and walk. At this point, I'm completely wiped out and I just want to sit down. I point out the first stage we see and they agree. I sigh gratefully when I sit down. You look tired as shit. I crack an eye open to see Carl giving me a sidelong glance. I don't sleep very well in motorbeds. I actually woke up around 2? You were gone. Now TJ's looking at me too, and I feel my gut clench for a second. Yeah, I tried to go for a walk down the street, hoped it would help me get tired. Well, if that happens again, you can just walk over to my house. I'm up until like 3 every night. Wow, why? Carlos shrugs, leaning back and sticking his hooves up against the chair in front of him, earning him a dirty glance from its occupier. Games, mostly. Sometimes I read. Carlo rubs his chin, opening his muzzle, closing it, then opening it again. You know, it would be pretty cool if you spent the night one of these days. That house can be creepy as hell when you're the only one in it. You're alone? Yeah, parents are vacationing in the regal paradise, having a bloody good time, they tell me. Carlo tries to put on an accent, but doesn't do a very good job out of it. Oh, did you want to go with them? Carlo blows a raspberry, laughing. Not really. My mom told me right away that weed isn't legal there either, so I took that as them not wanting me to come along. Oh. They did say that the chocolate there is real, whatever that means, and that they'd bring me some. Guess I'm not enough of a fat ass yet. Come on, Carlo. But dude, I'm getting there. Soon, all I'll have to do is stand in front of the mirror, block out my face, and jerk it to my moobs. I make a dumb snorting, croaking sound, and I can feel TJ looking at the two of us disapprovingly. Not the hardest thing to do when you're high. Wait, so you've actually done it? Carlos shrugs, smirking at me. I reach out and grab his chest. From what I can tell, there's a pretty firm set of pecs under there. Carlo puts a mock horrified look on his face. Sexual assault, he touched my breast. Oh, whatever, Carlo, they're harder than mine. So now we're teenage girls in the locker room comparing rags? Hey, you're the one that brought up tits. You know what? I can see it. Yeah. You're the hot preppy one everyone likes. I'm the big fat chick you're all nice to, but called Big Thunder Mountain behind her back. And TJ hadn't been paying attention, distracted with watching some dancers come on stage. He looks innocently at us. Huh? You're the cute, naive Christian chick that only takes it up the butt so as to stay a virgin. What? Let me feel your boobies. I wanna compare. What in the world are you No! Small but perky. After a few seconds of tussling and Carl getting smacked in the nose by TJ, somebody shushes us from behind and we force into silence. The show starts off with a bunch of mice having a weird sort of hoedown. TJ's really into it and actually starts clapping along. I smile. TJ could definitely be kinda cute sometimes. Carl just rubs his nose and leans back, watching with a smirk, as if the whole thing is a joke to him. At this point, my eyelids were feeling really heavy. At most, I got maybe 4 hours of sleep last night. I think about leaning my head back, but the backs of the seats are pretty low, and I just end up with my head hanging over the back. Leaning forward would just be impossible. I could lean on one of my friends, but I don't think they mind. Well, we can either choose Carl or TJ. I mean, Carl would be way more comfortable to lean on. I think, just because of the body difference. Like TJ is small and he's cute and all, but Carl would be the better choice in this situation. Plus, TJ still might be feeling a little bit, shaken up from the ride. So, yeah, let's lean on Carl. Carl is definitely the better choice. See? Bigger and probably softer. He'd make a nice pillow. Carl, I'm gonna use you as my bed. Huh? I put my head on his shoulder and closed my eyes, feeling the soft, puffy, sleeveless hoodie and his bulk under my cheek. Weirdly enough, he was pretty damn sturdy. I had expected him to feel like a pillow puff. Damn, Chase, you that tired? Mm-hmm. Well, alright then. I feel him shift, and suddenly he's putting an arm across the back of the bench, giving me more support. The gesture makes me feel a little warm. I can feel TJ's eye on us, but I ignore him, enjoying the position of intimacy. The sounds of the clapping and fiddles starts to drift away as the lack of sleep takes its toll. Oh no, we are dreaming. We are having some weird ass dreams, so that's not good. I feel along the rough edges of rock and dirt. The only thing I can hear is the shower of debris I'm knocking to the ground. The air is stale, and I have the vague feeling that I'm suffocating. I keep going. I'm gonna reach the end eventually. Just have to keep moving. I can tell that I'm going down, deeper and deeper. The space around me is growing smaller and smaller, and soon I'm hunching so that my head doesn't scrape the ceiling. I can hear footsteps, not quite in synchrony with my own. They aren't any kind of footsteps that I've heard before though. I stop and listen. There's definitely the sound of feet, but not like they're walking. It's like they're stamping down on the ground, making as much noise as possible. This is accompanied by a slapping sound, as if someone is smacking their paws on the ground as well. I imagine a canine toddler, still insisting on walking on all fours while throwing a tantrum. It's heavier though, like an adult is doing it. That image makes the nape of my neck prickle, but I'm not scared. It's not long after I've stopped that the noise stops as well. Just 10 feet behind me. I turn, watching the darkness. I knew you'd come back. They always do. My voice sounds clogged, muted, like the rocky walls are just sucking up the sound instead of bouncing them down the tunnel. The stamping starts up again, loudly, coming towards me at full speed. Now I can hear sobbing, sniffling, and a strange guttural grunting. It's just feet away. You're only moving in circles. It veers away just as the words leave my mouth, going back the way it came. I stand there a while, listening until I can't hear it anymore. I turn and continue on, feeling the walls again as I make my way lower and lower. The smell hits me right as my paws hit it, slick and slippery. Blood coats the walls my paws run along like thick oil. It's warm and fresh, and now I know I'm getting close. A voice abruptly echoes down the tunnel. It's not far away at all. I knew you'd come back. They always do. I make my way closer and closer. And now, fear pricks my heart. They always do. I hear muffled screams now, as if someone is yelling with their mouth closed. Now the fur is standing up all over my body, but my feet won't stop. I keep going. I'm getting closer and closer. You're only moving in circles. I'm here. It's right here in front of me. And now I'm reaching out to it. Reaching out to touch it. I can't stop. I can't stop. I jump. My head jerks up and my eyes snap open, looking around wildly. It's like I just came up from being underwater too long. Shit! Whoa! TJ and Carl both jump shortly after I do. I look back and forth as they stare wide-eyed back at me. It takes me a second to realize I'm still at Southwest Adventures, at the stage, watching shows. Jesus fuck, dude. You alright? Carl! I lean forward and rub my face in my paws, trying to stop shaking. I'm fine, just a really bad dream. I feel a small paw on my back as TJ rubs it. What about? I'm not really sure. Just in a really dark place and some things were in there. Oh, that does sound pretty creepy. What kind of things? I think for a minute. The weird crawling thing, the screaming thing. I pull my head up, looking towards the stage, which is empty right now. It doesn't matter. It was just a dream. Hey, what happened to the show? Carl chuckles next to me, leaning back again. Yeah, I miss them, dude. We've seen like 3 shows. Yeah, they even had a segment with otters doing water tricks. We thought about waking you up for it, but you were in a really deep sleep. That's too bad. I always love seeing my people laugh at for the swimming clowns that we are. How long's it been? Carl checks his phone, which he already has out. Been about 3 hours. Could probably get some lunch now. Damn, I'd been out for a while. I'm surprised I hadn't at least woken up a few times, considering the uncomfortable position I'd been in. I guess you feel better then? Yeah, been feeling better for the past 2 hours. Now I'm hungry. It's already 2 PM and I've composed myself for the most part, so I take out my phone to text Leo. We're kinda hungry, we should meet back up. He get back to me pretty quick. Okay, mostly done with rights and wait. And we are. Meet at food court. We meet Flynn at a table in the food court where he'd already bought some pizza. Carol immediately sits down and pries open the box, taking a few slices. Of course. You guys have fun? It was alright. Watched a few shows about our state species' history. Chase took a nap. Flynn eyes TJ, who doesn't say anything as he sits to take out his own slice of pizza, a bit more daintily than Carl had. Feeling better, Teach? Yeah, I'm fine. TJ nibbles on his slice of cheese pizza. Yeah, well, the pizza here is a hell of a lot scarier than any of the rides, so you're braver than I am. Where's Leo and Jenna? Flynn rolls his eyes and nods towards a row of carnival games to the right of the court. Fightin'. They've been playing those games for a fucking half an hour already. I'm not surprised. I grab my own slice of pizza in a napkin and make my way over there. Keeping with the theme of the Old West, the carnival section of the park is decked out with fake saloons and brawls. I spot them pretty quick. Leo's holding a pink unicorn and Jenna's carrying a green dragon. They seem to be in a pretty good spirits, though Leo's grin is a little tight. Looks like a pretty successful haul, you guys. Hey, Chase. Jenna's grinning, looking a little smug as well. You guys finished? We're eating now. Leo shifts the giant unicorn around. Yeah, we're pretty much done, I think. Damn, Leo, you must have won something pretty hard to get that. Yeah, that was me. I look over at the green dragon Jenna's holding. But what about that? Yeah, I won this too. Oh, well, I'm sure you've won a couple. Actually... Yeah, I've beaten him at every game. Yeah, well, you're visiting. I want your memories of this vacation to be good. Obviously, it's getting to your head, though. Oh, please. Chase, you should have seen his face. Sour grapes the whole time. Oh, really? I would usually stay out of stuff like this. He always got a little carried away when it came to competition, especially when I was around, but it was kind of funny seeing him act like this. Let's just go eat. Wait, there's a high striker. Why don't we show Chase who's stronger, huh? Leo contemplates that for a second, but seems pretty confident about this one. He's literally almost twice the size of Jenna. I don't know if that's very fair to you, Jenna. I mean... He lets that sit, and honestly, I have to agree. Jenna, though, gets a little fox gleam in her eyes that I knew meant she thought she knew something we didn't. Afraid I'm gonna woo your ex? Wow, Jenna's going all out. My muzzle flushes under the fur, but that only seems to decide things for Leo. A confident smile replaces the sheepish one from before. Oh yeah? He flexes his shoulders and sticks out the stuffed unicorn to me. I stuff the last of the crust into my mouth and reach out to take it. Jenna does the same, and now I'm hugging two massive stuffed animals to my sides, tripling my girth. Alright, let's do this. Step right up, test your strength. $3, 3 tries. Ring the bell and win a prize. I'd like a try. Ah, we have a taker. Big strong wolf like you would have no problem at all. $3, please. Leo hands over the money, and the carny hands him a mallet. Leo points it at me with a grin. This one's for you, Chula. My heart skips a beat. He hasn't called me that in a while. But I decide to play along. Don't disappoint me, Leo. I really want that stuffed griffin. I point to the griffin on the carny's long shelf of toys. Sure thing. Leo spreads his legs and squares his shoulders before raising the hammer and bringing it down hard onto the rubber-looking pad. It's a pretty hard hit, but the chaser only races up to the 40 mark. Ooh, almost, Sir Wolf. Try again. Leo's brow furrows, and now I'm not so sure this was a good idea. He raises the mallet again and grunts as he brings it down even harder, causing the contraption to shake a little. This time, the chaser shoots up to the 70 mark. Even better. This time, put your back into it. I can hear Leo growling a little as he raises the mallet a final time and brings it down with a snarl, all the muscles in his arms standing out. I'm pretty sure I feel the ground shake this time, as the impact causes more than a few heads to turn. This time, the chaser only goes up to the 60 mark. Leo gapes at the game. So close. $3 more will get you 3 more tries. Would you like to try again? Nope, my turn. Jenna already has her money ready and hands it to the carny. Oh, a little battle between the sexes, eh? Well, step right up, my fair fox maiden. How will you fare against the big bad wolf? Leo reluctantly hands the mallet to Jenna. Alright, beat 70. Jenna points the mallet at me, winking. Don't worry, Chase. I'll get that griffin for you. Leo snorts loudly, folding his arms and looking pretty annoyed. Good luck. I was hitting that fingers. Before he can finish, Jenna raises the mallet into the air and puts it into a graceful swing. It's as if she were chopping wood as she brings it down hard into the rubber pad. It lands precisely and cleanly, in sharp contrast with Leo's sloppy hits. I stare, Leo stares, the carny stares. Jenna simply raises her paws in the air. Yay! A few onlookers around us laugh and cheer. Oh my! The fair fox has won. Come over and pick your prize. He glances at Leo. Sorry, buddy. The feline shoots a sympathetic but also amused smile Leo's way before turning to the onlookers. See that? A female fox, half the size of this male wolf, has rung the bell. Could one of you be next? Leo looks mortified, but quickly changes his expression to a sheepish grin. He doesn't seem to want to look at me. Good job, Jenna. Jenna bounds back to us, carrying the big stuffed griffin. Give those ones to Leo, so I can give you this. I hand off the stuffed toys to Leo, who grumbles a bit as he takes them. Damn thing's rigged. Jenna hands me the griffin. Thanks, Jenna. That was really... She leans over and pecks me on the cheek. I see Leo's eyes widen as she does it, his ears standing straight up. It was nothing. Leo stands there for a few seconds, working his jaw. Awesome. He turns away and leaves, his arms still wrapped around the giant stuffed toys. Jenna starts laughing. Jenna! Oh hush, he'll get over it. He's just so damn fun to tease. I have to agree, but not when I'm being used to do the teasing. He's still really sensitive about the whole thing. You guys talked it over, didn't you? Anyway, aren't you gay? I take a deep breath. So... Chase is canonically bisexual. But if I pick this, he will explain. So let's do it. Yeah. See? He's got nothing to worry about. I'm not in the mood to go in depth about my sexuality. Saying anything else confuses people. Yeah, so that's why he's saying he's gay, but he's actually bi. I sigh and rub my eyes with a paw, still a little tired. Hey, don't tell Leo that I work at the state fair every year. Wasn't planning on it. The rest of the day is pretty relaxing. We ride a few of the more mellow rides. Leo seemed to cheer up when I volunteered to sit next to him on the Ferris wheel. TJ even built up his courage to the point where he rode the swinging ship. Flynn and Kylo rode the slingshot ride together, and, with the video feed from the ground, I think it's the first time I've ever seen Flynn scared. Kylo did end up barfing after that one. By about 6 PM, everyone's tired enough that we agreed to head back. I'm still exhausted, so I sleep for the half hour it takes to get back to the motel. And we end it right here.